Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. As you probably know, we have Ring of Honor, of course, featuring, of course, the quarterfinals of the Women's Pure Wrestling Title Tournament. But the real question, who would advance? As you know, recently there's been a bit of a rivalry between both Trish Adora and Deonna Purrazzo. So the real question is, who will come on top? So we'll see. And of course, we'll see, of course, very other matches as well. We do have, of course, the main event, a proving ground match for the ROH Pure Wrestling Championship. But the real question is, can the competitor, of course, Commander, hold on to 10 minutes or somehow beat Lee Moriarty, who is, of course, the longest reigning champion? So we'll see how things will progress there. And then, of course, we move on with TNA. As you all know, it's been about a couple of weeks since Bound for Glory. So they have, of course, a very interesting show called Open Fight. Now, so basically, let's just say that they had to pick opponents. And that's going to be a lot of fun. But the main event features, of course, Mike Santana and Cedric Alexander. And this one is not, of course, a title match. It's more like, how do I say, a match to see who's the best in some perfectly matter, because if you guys follow the independents, it's not the first rodeo. So it's going to be a lot of fun to take a look at. And then, of course, as always, we'll wrap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the jibber jabbers. It's time to hit a home run. So let's begin, of course, with Ring of Honor. Alright, so let's begin with Ring of Honor. We open up with a championship match, the ROH World Six-Man Tag Team match. We have the challengers, the Workhorsemen, Anthony Henry and JD Drake. They team up with, of course, Anthony's cousin, Beef, and they face, of course, the current champions, Shane Taylor Promotions, with Shane Taylor, Carly Bravo, and Sean Dean of the Infantry. Now, of course, you can tell that the Shane Taylor Promotions are determined to prove that they are the dominating force within Ring of Honor, which they have. But, however, of course, something interesting happened. Anthony Ogogo, as you know, distracted the referee while Beef was in the ring, but unbeknownst to the referee, Rush showed up and whacked beef with the championship, and because of that, it led for the infantry, Carly Bravo and Sean Dean, to apply the stomp, and of course, Dean made the pinfall, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Shane Taylor Promotions retained the titles. However, during the post match, Shane Taylor Promotions intending to show the world, the entire world, that they are the ones in control of Ring of Honor by trying to dismantle beef. But luckily, Skyflight team decided to show up. Of course, Scorpio Sky and Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin. However, while they were able to have, of course, Shane Taylor Promotions run through the hill, they ended up in their own match, and they faced, of course, Daddy Magic and the Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. So I have to say the match itself was pretty good. Not to mention, of course, I mean, they are trying to determine who is going to be the next challengers for those those 6-man tag team belts. And I would like to say the Skyflight team could be the next team, but in the end, of course, it was Scorpio Sky with a cutter onto, of course, Matt Menard, Daddy Magic, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match, we have the members of the Don Callis family, Lance Archer and Hechiseto, taking on Orion and OXP. Now, of course, as you all know, we have been these two teams are determined to attack AJ, Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall. But of course, they dismantled their opponents thanks to Hechiseto with a submission onto OXP, and just like that, he gave up. Now, our next match, we have a women's tag team match. We have Robin Renegade teaming up with Taya Valkyrie. They take on Yuka Sakazaki and Alex Windsor. As you all know, these two ladies teamed up recently and they won. However, nothing was different like they did last time. But, however, we're starting to see a very good tag team between both of them. And it was, of course, Yuka Sakazaki with the Magical Girl Splash onto Taya Valkyrie. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Yuka Sakazaki and Alex Windsor win the match. Our next match is the quarterfinals of the ROH Women's Pure Wrestling Championship Tournament. We have Trish Adora and Deonna Purrazzo. Now, when this whole thing came about, we have two different wrestlers who are determined to win. Now, many people have put their money onto Deonna Purrazzo because we all know she is what exactly pure wrestling style is about. But as for Trish Adora, well, let's just say she's learning about that, but she is determined to win this championship in the name of Shane Taylor Promotions. And of course, you know, because of the background from certain members within the Shane Taylor Promotions, they were in the military, and they criticized Deonna Purrazzo for marrying a Marine. But apparently, Deonna Purrazzo says you have no honor whatsoever. And of course, we know that Trish Adora is intending to put a pile of hurt to her to prove her point that this championship is going straight to Shane Taylor Promotions. But, however, for me, as a fan who's been watching Deonna Purrazzo, what she can do in skills in submission techniques, well, it was Venus Milo on her finisher that put her away, and just like that, moved on to the next of the line. So basically, she continues on. So we're not done yet with the quarterfinals. We have one more match, I believe, to go, and then we'll see what happens until then. Now, our next match, we have a mixed tag team match. We have Angelica Risk and Aaron Solo taking on the Death Riders, Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir. Now, of course, it's no secret that this match was definitely going to fall in favor with the Death Riders because it was Marina Shafir applying the Mother's Milk onto Angelica Risk, and just like that, she tapped out. It was completely over. Next up, we have Satnam Singh versus Gino Adonis. Well, this match ended right away as soon as Satnam applied, of course, a choke slam, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next match, we have Alex Zane and Willie Mack taking on Swirl, Lee Johnson and Blake Christian. But what makes this match interesting for those who follow Swirl, these guys have not applied no cheating techniques whatsoever. They were able to pick up the win by no cheating whatsoever, and they did a very cohesion time. But in the end, it was the double stop driver onto Alex Zane, and just like that, Johnson picked up the win. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Our main event is, of course, the ROH Pure Wrestling title in a Proving Ground match. Commander versus Lee Moriarty. I have to say this match was incredible. Now, of course, it's no secret that Lee Moriarty is capable of winning the match, but however, it's not the first time that anybody has ever, of course, ended up winning, standing a time limit draw. As you know, if you don't win the match for the challenger, well, they can end up holding on to 10 minutes, and that's exactly what Commander. When the match was over, it just presumed now that we will see Commander to get a shot of the ROH Pure Wrestling title. But the real question is, when will that happen? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Until then, we'll leave things as it is and move on with our next and final review, and that is, of course, TNA. Okay, TNA Open Fight Night. Now, it's been almost a couple of weeks since Bound for Glory, and not to mention a full actual show ever since then. And of course, it opened up with the Director of Authority, Santino Marella, giving a bit speech, of course, regarding after Bound for Glory and all this other stuff. And of course, he did mention that some wrestlers will be picking wrestlers to be part of the Open Fight Night, and we'll be seeing that as well. Now, we opened up with a four-way tag team match. Team number one, we have Sinner and Saint, Judas Icarus and Travis Williams, formerly of the Northern Armory, versus the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, versus the Great Hands, of course, or should I say, the Dumb Hands, John Schuyler and Jason Hotch, and then finally the System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. Now, it's no secret, of course, about, of course, the rivalry that we've been seeing with the Order of Four, specifically the Dumb Hands and the System recently, where they lost the Hardcore War. And of course, like any other match, Tasha Steelz was there to ensure that the Great Hands, in fact, win their match, but things did not go according to plan, because in the end, it was, of course, the Boston Knee Party by Eddie Edwards onto John Schuyler. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was done. Now, Jody Threat went on and said that she was thankful for the opportunity for Open Fight Night, and she picked, of course, her opponent, her former tag partners, of course, Danny Luna. So basically, that's going to be a very interesting match to go through. Now, we did see a bit of an interesting video promo from the Alaskan brands with the Chihuahua, of course, the consigliere, whatever he is, talking about looking for Mr. Elegant. So it seems that they want to bring in a male into the Alaskan brands. So they're asking for anybody who would join. So the real question is, who's going to do that? I'm not sure. So I have to say he must be a pretty idiot to go for it. So we'll see. Now, the match that we expected, Danny Luna versus Jody Threat. It's no secret, as you guys know, these two ladies used to be former tag partners. Now, cannot remember what they call themselves, but they were a successful tag team, and not to mention former TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, until losing the opportunity. But of course, things have to go their separate ways. Danny Luna, of course, started throwing a bit of attitude in recent time, especially with Indy Hartwell and a few others, and now she is throwing that fit against anybody, especially her former tag partner, Jody Threat, which of course she did. And of course, they went back and forth. I mean, there were moments where you would have thought Jody Threat would have picked up the win. No, but it was Danny Luna with the lunar landing. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, Danny Luna picked up the win. Now, Cedric Alexander decided to call for his opponent for Open Fight Night. And the opponent he picked is our current TNA World Champion, Mike Santana. However, Cedric Alexander decided, hey, listen, leave your championship in the back. Meet me as a man. Face me as a man. And that's exactly what we will be seeing. So we'll get to that in a bit. Now, our next match is an El Paso tag team street fight. Now, for those who probably would understand, yes, the event was in El Paso. For those who know El Paso in the wrestling world, you know who actually was born there. And it's known as Eddie Guerrero Country. Yep. Basically, this is the home of Eddie Guerrero, who has been well recognized in the wrestling world. And of course, is a huge honor for many people who actually go there, especially wrestlers who, in fact, grew up watching him or they know of his career. And of course, the Hardys were in this match, taking on the colognes. And this is a very interesting match because, of course, anything goes. You can use all kinds of plunder. I mean, you got tables, ladders, chairs, trash cans, kendo sticks, whatever you can find to dismantle your opponent. And of course, the colognes unfortunately ended up being in the forefront on that until, of course, Eddie Colon ended up being swanton by Jeff Hardy, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So that's how things end from there. Now, Sarah from NXT, who was an backstage interview, had to talk to Kalani Jordan about, of course, her recent events. Now, as you all know, Kalani Jordan is the TNA Knockouts World Champion, and of course, things have now becoming different. So basically, she is setting up her own path, no matter what she does, and of course, that's exactly what she intends to do. But however, she's not too keen on the idea that she has to defend her championship against, of course, both Jordan Grace and Li Yang Ling. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, our main event, we have Mike Santana and Cedric Alexander. I have to say, it was a pretty good dang match. I wasn't expecting a whole lot, but god damn it, it was good. I have to say, I was a bit of surprised how things were going to roll up from this, but everything went well. I would have assumed that maybe Cedric Alexander would have picked up the win, but nope. It was Mike Santana with the spin the block, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So I have to say it was a good open fight night, and hopefully we'll see more of these. But as of right now, we are officially done with TNA. Let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin with upcoming events. First, we have, of course, some GCW updates here. As you probably remember, we do have the Vermont event on the 9th of November. 2 matches have been announced. We have tag team Bear Dozer, consistent of Bear Bronson and Matt Tremont. They take on Lost Boys. I don't know who these guys are. I'm going to presume they are a local tag team in Vermont, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, we have Marcus Mathers taking on, I forgot who else. Yeah, someone will be there. Yeah. And then, of course, we have the Nick Gage Invitational 10. They'll take place on the 13th of December in Orlando. Fifth name has been now mentioned, Jack Harrop. I don't know who he is, but from my understanding, he is from the UK. Now, moving on, as on the November 15th, we have House of Glory with Super Clash. They announced that Killer Cross will be making his return there. And then finally, we have Nick Mennett taking on the Amazing Red. So that's going to be a phenomenal match. Then, of course, we have the Jersey Championship Wrestling, home for the holidays on the 23rd of November. We have a tag team match announced. We have 2 of them, actually, men's and women's. First one is for the men's. Tony Deppen will team up with Ryan Clancy to take on Adam Priest and Darian Bankston. I don't know who he is. And then, of course, the women's, we have Nixie XS. She teams up with Valentina Rossi. They take on Kenzie Page and Kylie Alexi. So that's pretty much it for upcoming events. Now on to some developments. As you all know, there's still been some determination in New Japan about Hiroshi Tanahashi, who will be his final opponent. That will happen on Wrestle Kingdom on January 4th. Well, it turns out that it was reported by Fightful Select that this could happen next week. The final revealment will happen. I can't wait to see who it is. And a lot of people there are speculating is Okada. I mean, yeah, it probably would be, but we'll see. Kit Wilson, as you all know from Pretty Deadly, as you probably may have heard, his wife, real life wife, Stevie Turner, has been released. So he's pretty much given his reaction about what's going to happen next. He's excited for what's next in her future, knowing too well that she was released, and I'm sure it's hard for him that he's not going to be seeing her around that much, but it's okay. We know how things are. But we're still waiting to see what Stevie Turner is going to do now. Now, Yuna Mizumori has went on to Tokyo Sports and say that she declares war against Sareee. Now, some of you may question why. Well, turns out there have been some history that dates back a bit longer than as of today, but it's still unclear what it is. I'm gonna find out more of that information soon enough. And then finally, we have Hiroyo Matsumoto. We want to tell her happy birthday. Many of you may have not known this. She is 40 years old. So basically, yeah, I think some people say it's just a number, but she just didn't realize it until it happened. I mean, she is in fantastic shape, not gonna lie. But happy birthday, Lady Destroyer. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, well, as you may have heard right about now, we will begin the first round matches of the Stardom's Goddesses of Stardom Tag League. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm sure that some people are waiting to see who is the mystery partner for Hanako, which is a big mystery. I know there's a lot of speculation regarding about that, but we'll see. And some interesting tag teams we'll be seeing. So stay tuned for that. Now, if there's anything else I might do, I haven't decided just yet, but we'll just have to wait and see. But as of right now, we'll leave things as it is. Until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.